Hello everybody, in today's lesson we're going to be talking about L'Hopital's rule. So you might be asking, what is L'Hopital's rule? L'Hopital's rule is used for solving limits. And what type of limits? First of all, we're just going to go over how to use L'Hopital's rule. So pretend you have a limit when x, let's say, goes to c, and then you're given a function of f of x and g of x. Well, to do L'Hopital's rule, you simply take the derivative of both functions in the limit. So that is essentially what L'Hopital's rule is. Now, what situation do you use L'Hopital's rule? When you encounter an indeterminate forms of limits. So, for example, which is 0 over 0 is the most common one you would encounter. Or if it goes to infinity over infinity, that's also one, etc. So essentially, you can't really solve. There's no meaning behind it. The functions you meet up like that isn't then indeterminate. So let's do an example of L'Hopital's rule. Let's say we have limit x goes to 2, and we have, let's say, x squared plus x minus 6 over x squared minus 4. Now to solve this limit, we could try direct substitution. First of all, we could try to substitute 2 into x. So that would be 2 squared plus 2 minus 6 over 2 squared minus 4, which will be 4 plus 2 is 6, 6 minus 6 is 0. Now 2 to the power of 2 is 4, 4 minus 4 is 0. That's 0 over 0, which is in determinate form, so we can't use direct substitution. We can try to conjugate it, but we can also use the L'Hopital's rule in this situation. So when limit x goes to 2, you take the derivative of this function and this one on the bottom, so take the derivative of those, which would be 2x plus 1 simply over 2x. Now, after you finish taking derivative, now what you can do is you sub 2 into this, which will get you 2 times 2 plus 1 over 2 times 2, which it will be equal to 4 plus 1 is 5 over 4, which will be your solution. So that's the solution. Now, if you forgot how to take derivatives, I will do a quick summary. So it's power rule. It's the power rule, essentially, which states that pretend you have variable x to the power of n. When you take the derivative of this, it will just be n times x to the power of n minus 1. That's basically it. So if you encounter something like, for example, 6x cubed, and you want to take the derivative of that, simply it would just be 6 times 3x to the power of 3 minus 1, which will be 18x squared. That's essentially how I take derivatives with the power rule. And if you have, let's say, another variable at the end of this, so let's say 6x cubed plus 2x, you essentially do the same with 2x. So that would be, we already found out what 6x cubed's derivative will be, 18x squared plus 2x's derivative, which will be 18x squared plus 2. Now that's essentially how to take derivatives. Now that you know that L'Hopital's rule is essentially a really simple way on solving indeterminate forms. So I hope you enjoyed this short lesson.